This is Rangers Deep in the Heart, your all-access pass to life in the big leagues with personal moments and heart-to-heart chats with Rangers players, their families, and staff. This show is brought to you by Justin Boots, the official boot of the Texas Rangers. I'm your host, Hannah Wing. Welcome into Season 2, Episode 2 of Rangers Deep in the Heart, presented by Justin Boots. Today I'm here with Rangers outfielder Evan Carter and his wife, Kaylen. Now, Evan Carter was a huge storyline throughout the Rangers postseason run. He gained national notoriety and was known by many Rangers fans as the Little Savior. He missed some time last season with a back injury, but is now back in Arlington, and there is truly so much to be excited about. And Evan is also known for his plate discipline. So with that being said, Mr. and Mrs. Full Count Carter, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. How are you guys doing today?
Good. We're excited to be here, and Houston is always a fun series.
Yes,
So,
it is a fun series.
yeah.
Is there a different vibe in the Rangers clubhouse when the team's playing the Astros?
I guess everybody gets a little bit more heightened senses, I guess, almost. Obviously, with the playoffs and everything, Adolis is locked in right now, too. So, yeah, it's always a little bit exciting.
I mean, you both had some incredible catches last night. That was fun to see, too. What was going through your mind during that catch?
I mean, obviously, DeGrom was doing his thing, lights out on the mound. So just trying to, do our part. Obviously, we had, 3 hits last night, and Jake had 2 of them, Burger. So it's like, what do we got to do to help him out right here a little bit? So, Dulles and I both were able to do a little bit right there. It was really cool.
Let's talk about you guys as a couple. We'll talk a little bit of baseball here in a few minutes, but I want to get the behind the scenes story because Rangers fans love knowing how all of their favorite Ranger couples met. So you guys are both from Elizabethton, Tennessee, and you're high school sweethearts. So what is the real story of how you guys met and started dating?
We grew up together. We went to elementary school together. I would say we were friends through elementary school. And then I remember in 6th grade at a football game, one of my brother's football games actually, at Tennessee High in Bristol, Tennessee. Um, I guess I asked for your phone number then.
Yeah, and that's when we had like little flip phones. It
I was
was
gonna ask what
not-
kind of phones you guys had.
Yeah.
So we started texting back and forth then, and then if you want to call it dating, then we kind of, I don't know, we hung out together, went to movies and did stuff together, and then just,
From there.
yeah, we just
Yeah.
never really, we've been together ever since then, yeah.
Yeah.
When you guys first started seeing each other dating, whatever you want to call it, in middle school, what were some common things you guys liked to do together besides seeing movies?
Probably like,
Pick up basketball.
yeah,
Oh,
like we
sports,
would like,
I don't know.
'cause I was a big sports
Yeah.
girl. So, I played soccer, basketball, and softball growing up, and I feel like any time in the summer we were together, his parents had a pool. We would swim or play basketball against each other, like stuff you could imagine 6th graders would be doing. Like, I don't know, the most tomboyish things ever, I think, is what we were doing. So, yeah.
So playing basketball against each other, who would usually win between the two of you? I could feel it probably got pretty competitive at times.
Yeah, no, she was really good at basketball. I sucked. I can jump, but that's about
Yeah,
the extent
I
of
feel like
it.
his
That's
height
about-
is what always got me.
Yeah.
Just because, I could never be as tall as him. But yeah.
At a young age, did you understand how good your now husband is at sports?
Probably not, no. I mean, like, I always knew he was good at sports and we were both always super athletic, but when you think about being that young and to where you are now, it's like hard to like grasp like, oh, you're a 6th grader who's 11, like one day your husband's gonna be in the MLB, and it's just like hard to wrap your brain around that. But so blessed that we're here, and Evan truly has a God-given talent, so I'm glad he's able to use it.
If you could pick a walk-up song for each other, what would it be and why?
I feel like Jack Johnson is one of his favorite
like
artists,
Jack
and we were actually listening on the way here to the Banana Pancakes.
Banana pancakes.
It's
yeah.
just like this
Yeah.
super like kind of gives you like Hawaii, like surfer boy kind of vibes, just
the other
super
side of the country
chill.
for us, yeah.
Like he's just such a chill person, like so really anything along those lines. Like he's just so calm and, composed, and I
Yeah.
feel like that's just what fits his personality the best.
It's a good song. Great choice, by the way. Evan, what about you?
I'll do Eye of the Tiger for you.
This really makes me laugh.
I feel like Kaylen's the person that at the restaurant, if my order gets wrong, I'm like, oh, it's fine, don't worry about it. Ken's like, no, very like
No,
we're
I'm
gonna
not
do it.
mean. You're gonna make me look bad
No,
out here.
no,
I'm
she
not
just is
mean.
the
It's
more-
just like,
I'm more introverted, I think.
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
just be like, hey, could you please fix this order.
I'm just picturing the two of you playing like 1v1 basketball in middle school with Eye and the Tiger just blasting in the background.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, next question. If you could have any celebrity throw out the first pitch at a Rangers game, who would it be?
I'm a huge Jimmy Buffett fan, so I know
Yeah.
he's passed away now, but that would have been awesome. We got to see him in concert once, so that was really cool.
For me, I've always been a Justin Bieber fan, so probably would be him, honestly.
That's a really good one too.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, now let's have you guys describe each other in one word. So we know how you met back in middle school. You've been together for a really long time, so obviously you guys know each other probably better than anyone else in the world. So what is one word you would use to describe each other?
Mine for you would be thoughtful.
Oh, okay.
Aren't you glad it's recorded?
Yeah, like, I can listen to this over. I think for Evan, it would just be compassionate, just because he cares so much about me, and baseball is kind of like what people know us for, but he still wants to make sure outside of that, like, our family is okay and we can be as normal as we can, you know?
Evan, this road hasn't been easy for you, but it has been a really impactful one. In 2023, you had your debut. You were the face of the World Series run. You were called the Little Savior. You had national notoriety. How did the two of you guys process how quickly your lives changed that fall?
We didn't really have time to process it, I would think. I mean, it was just kind of, we were on the road in AA, got called up to AAA, double road trip in AAA. I got called up halfway through that one, and then we were living out of a hotel for 3 weeks in the minor leagues, and then all of September, all of October, it went by in the blink of an eye. It was unbelievable. It's weird, I don't remember a lot of it just because it happened so fast and you're so like, there's so much adrenaline, you're so locked in. Like, I don't know, I'd have to go back and watch like YouTube videos about it almost to kind of remember the playoffs, but it was unbelievable.
Do you ever go back and watch YouTube videos from the World Series run?
Yeah, if they pop up, I'll watch them, or if it pops up on like Instagram or whatever, like a highlight or something, I'll watch it. Yeah.
So you had all of that national notoriety coming off of the World Series run, especially at just 21 years old. I mean, your birthday was a few weeks before that, so very young, a lot on your plate, a lot of hype and a lot of excitement. And then you had a back injury last season that pretty much sidelined you all of 2024. How did you mentally get through the last year after all of that hype and excitement and then not being able to play the sport that you love?
Yeah, I mean, it was miserable at some points. I mean, you go from the top of the mountain to all the way at the bottom of the valley. You're can't play, you can't do the things you want to do. Obviously, I had really high expectations for myself for the next coming season, and I know everybody else did too. And to kind of not be able to at least try to meet those expectations a little bit, it crushed me. And I mean, I don't know how many games I played last year, and half of them I didn't feel good anyway. So it's like it was really hard. So this year, it's a new beginning. But I'm trying to give myself a little bit of grace too because I did miss all of last year. And so I'm just doing the best that I can do right now. And I know I'm a competitive person, so giving myself grace is really hard to do, but I'm trying to do that.
Kaylin, over the last year as Evan's wife, how were you really there to support him and help him get through that difficult time?
I think just kind of being like a listening ear, just somebody for him to, I don't know if you want to say rant to, but just somebody who outside of baseball is going to be judge free, like judgmental free, and not gonna really put that pressure on him. I think it's more so just you have to let him lean on you while he's going through such a hard time. But from my perspective, it is really hard to watch your significant other, be so down on themselves and feel like they disappointed everybody. But um, I just feel like, the Lord can get you through anything. So here we are, and I am excited to see what the future holds for Evan and his career.
Yeah.
Evan, from your perspective, how was Kaylin your rock and your support system throughout that time?
Yeah, I mean, just like what she said, I'm sure I did rant a lot about stuff. And I mean, just having somebody that, I mean, when you leave the field every day and you get to go home to something that is just not baseball. And obviously, the way I look at life is I'm using baseball to provide for my family and give us the best life that we can have. And at the end of the day, family and everything outside of baseball is what's most important. So it was, just trying to make sure that we didn't ruin our what we had outside of baseball because baseball was going bad, I guess. So she was a huge reason for helping us get through that. So it was really awesome.
Evan, you mentioned giving yourself grace and how that's something that's difficult to do. But when you look back on all that you guys went through over the last year, what is a learning that you really taught yourself about the value of your marriage and just the relationship that you guys have?
Yeah, I mean, I think relationships are a huge deal as far as just living a healthy life in general, but also getting through hard times. I'm sure I hope that when Kaylin goes through hard times that I'm gonna be the same that she was for me. That's what you need in each other. Sometimes I can't give, 100% to our marriage, and sometimes she can't. So I think that's what it's all about, is evening itself out.
Let's fast forward to this past spring training. You're getting healthy, you're getting consistent at bats. You obviously weren't hitting to your fullest potential, but you were able to get consistent at bats and game time and just kind of back to a sense of normalcy.
Mhm.
When you found out that you were going to start this season in AAA, what was your initial reaction?
Honestly, my initial reaction was I was really upset, just because I knew what I was able to do, and I knew that I could help the team win. And at the end of the day, it's like what I think versus what the performance on the field is saying at that time could be two completely different things. So, regardless of how I felt, I had to show that was good enough. No matter what I think, I had to show that I was good enough to help the team win, and ended up going through some other things, trying to straighten out the back issues, but finally starting to get some more consistent at bats. It's been weird. I missed like half the games in April too. But this has been actually, since I've been called up, this is the most games I've played in a row all year. So super happy about that. Big step forward. But yeah, I mean, it's just trying to climb your way back to the top, I guess.
Kayla, when you heard about Evan starting off at AAA, what was your initial reaction?
I think you're sad for them, obviously, just because, I mean, it's like a demotion in a way, but I think looking back on it now, it was a blessing in disguise because I think it gave him time, me time to kinda, like, take a step back and just be like, "This is not end all be all for us, like, it'll be okay." I mean, Evan's still only 22 years old, like, there's so much baseball ahead for him, so I think it was definitely a blessing in disguise, and probably not happy about it at first, but I think it's something that we will appreciate, like, in the future.
And on the personal side of things, you guys bought a house in the off season. That's really exciting, and it's in the DFW area. So with Evan being in Round Rock on a day-to-day life schedule, like what did that look like for both of you?
Um,
Yeah, so we were both down in Round Rock. Some of the off days we came back up here because you get the scheduled every Monday off. So, or if she didn't go on a road trip, she might have came back up here, and then I would fly back into Dallas and we'd drive back down together. So it worked out. We were still able to come up here a little bit.
Good. Well, you had a lot of success when you were with Round Rock for just 21 games. You had 3 homers and adjusted your batting stance. What was your main point of emphasis in your time in AAA?
Yeah. So I guess with my back stuff, I don't know that I'm gonna be the same. I'm not gonna move the same or feel the same as what I did 2 years ago. That's just I have to accept that, and that is the way it is. And so just trying to figure out a way to help my body move without it hurting as much, I guess. So something that I had done in the way I had, I guess, swung a bat since the entire time I've played baseball, trying to change that, which is really hard to do. And I still feel like we're kind of trying to adjust a little bit to it, but yeah, just open it up a little bit, give myself a little bit more room to move around and a lot less stress on my back, so it feels good.
Good. Happy to hear that. Kaylin, how often do you see Evan practicing his batting stance around the house? Is that something that he does?
I feel
Not
like
like Smitty, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
was
well,
yeah,
whenever you said that, I
gosh,
was thinking, "Oh, Josh Smith," like, I
yeah.
feel like he does that all the time. Um, no, Evan will still do it, like, I feel like I'll be in the kitchen or something, and I'll just see him, like, over there in the living room just kinda, like, going through the motions, and it's like, "Okay," like, I'll just let him do his thing, but, um, I mean, pretty often, I would say, but not, like, all the time, yeah.
Not all the time. And then Evan, you were recalled on May 6th. Congratulations. Very happy to have you back here in Arlington. When you got that call that it was time to be back with the big league club, what was your reaction then?
Um, I was excited. I mean, it's one of those things like we talked about earlier. I felt like I was, I'm ready to help the team, and I knew that I could, so I was really happy to be back up, and here we are helping the team win. We're on a good streak right now, so it's awesome.
Absolutely. And you played a lot of center field. That's the only position you've played so far this
Mhm.
season, which is exciting.
Yeah.
How does your game prep differ? I mean, obviously you've had a lot of time in left field and a little bit in right, but playing center so consistently now, what does that look like for you on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I mean, that's center's where I've always played, so that's where I'm most, comfortable at. I feel like that's where I'm my best version of myself. Um, it's funny, I played center field all the way up through the minor leagues and maybe like 10 total games out of 250 in left field, and then I debuted in right field, and it's like, I've never played right, like, I don't play right field, and then next thing you know, I'm the everyday left fielder, and it's like, wherever you can play to help the team, but I am really happy to be in center again.
Good. With Leody Taveras going off to the Seattle Mariners, that obviously leaves more position as an everyday center fielder. What have you been told about what your role will look like in the Rangers outfield?
I think at the end of the day, CY says it a lot. If you perform, you play. So I've just got to perform and no pressure, I guess, right? Play good and you stay on the field. So, I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now.
On the topic of being a big leaguer, Nate Lowe told me back in 2023, right after you debuted, that you went up to him in clubhouse one day. I think you might have broken a few bats, and you said, "I'm almost out of bats. What do I do?"
Yeah.
And Nate thought it was the funniest and the most wholesome thing. And he goes, "Evan, there's an equipment manager whose full-time job is to make sure that you have what you need."
Yeah.
So now that it's 2025, you had some
Yeah.
time under your belt.
Yeah.
What is the best part about being a big leaguer?
The food.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
the
the
food.
food because that's what you always
Oh
talk
my
about.
gosh. We
Yeah.
just was not last night. The night before we had sushi night. And
Yeah,
it's like you walk
that's
in
his
there and it's
favorite.
just
Mhm.
more than you can eat. And it's just unbelievable. And that's my favorite food too. So
Yeah.
the food's the best. Yeah.
What has been the best post-game spread you've ever had besides sushi night?
When hurtado comes through, barbecue is really good, and then any night that we have steak, honestly, I'm down to eat steak. I could eat steak every day, I'd say. Yeah.
I always try and walk by the visitors clubhouse, and I'm in the tunnel during games, and I ask the visiting clubhouse clubbies, and I go, "What are they having tonight?" And it's always carbone,
Yeah.
Nick and
Yeah.
Sam's that had Las Palmas last night. I'm like, I want to eat like these guys. This
I
sounds
know.
awesome.
I know.
But Kaylin, from your perspective, you've been a part of Evan's baseball journey since middle school through now. So as an MLB wife, what is the biggest perk or thing that you enjoy the most about being in that position?
I think for me, it's just getting to come to the field every day and support my husband, and get to watch him do the thing that he loves. And there's also so many other perks, like getting to make new friendships and um, getting to lean on other girls who are going through the exact same thing, like especially when, there are not so great times in baseball. Um, but definitely it's just so rewarding getting to see him and watch him live out his dream.
Evan, now that you're having a lot of time out in center field and just being back in the outfield consistently, do you ever have friends that buy seats specifically out in center field or near where you're going to be, or do you hear what the fans are yelling at you?
Yeah, so in 23 in Tampa in the playoffs, so very first playoff game in the wild card, somebody is just eating into me in left field. I'm like, "Oh my gosh," just cussing me up and down, saying all this stuff, like, naming people in my family. I'm like,
Oh
"Oh
my
my gosh, like,
gosh.
this is terrible." And then I made a diving catch, and then I turned around and looked at him to be like, "Yeah, like, what's up?"
Like, shut your mouth.
And and it was like this, like, 10-year-old kid. I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I'm just getting blasted by some, like, little kid, and he's, like, double giving me the bird, like, yelling at me. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Tampa,
Somebody
like, what
needs
do
to
we"
get their kid.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bad.
We could probably hear it because
Yeah.
no one was there because Tropicana Field was not even close to being full during the
Yeah, it was empty.
postseason.
Yeah,
No shade to Tampa,
no
but
shade.
that's hilarious though. Well-researched kid there. Looking for boots that work just as hard as you do? Justin Boots delivers rugged performance, timeless style, and over 145 years of Western tradition. Find your next perfect pair at justinboots.com. It's time for my favorite part of every episode, the Newlywed game, and of course we had our Ranger spin on it. So if the answer applies more to Kaylin, they'll hold up the foam finger since she's Evan's #1 fan. And if it's more applicable to Evan, they'll hold up the baseball. All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
Okay, no cheating. Who is more of a morning person, Kaylin or Evan? Oh, you each said each other.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Who gets more nervous for Evan's games, Kaylen or Evan? Kaylen gets more nervous?
I don't know. I feel like we are both pretty chill people, but like just sitting up there, I'm just a little nervous sometimes.
Do you get nervous the whole game or only during Evan's at bats? Or like what scenarios do you usually
I feel like
feel
it's
the most?
only after the first at bat, and then once that. Also, I feel like more nerves have came just because like where he's been recalled and stuff, it almost feels like you're having to do this all over again. But yeah, usually only a little bit of the game, and then I'm fine.
Well, nerves are good because it means you care. So, all right, up next, who is JP's favorite parent between the two of you? Kaylen, you both knew immediately.
Yeah. I'm not cool enough. No.
I'm sure he loves both of you, but why do you think that Kaylen's the favorite?
She feeds him all the time.
I treat him like a human. I don't treat him just as a dog. So
That's perfect. That actually leads us into our next segment. So I have two more of these and then we'll dive into that. But between the two of you, who has more phone screen time? Evan?
Yeah,
Okay, Evan, what's your most popular app on your phone? Like, where do you spend your most screen time?
probably YouTube.
YouTube?
Big
Watching your
YouTube.
highlights from the World Series?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I watch honestly anything. I
that
don't know,
or
yeah.
chat GPT because you're constantly researching stuff about the yard and whatnot. Yeah.
Is that how you became a lawn care expert and like a
Probably from
landscaper?
there's a lot of YouTubers on there that go way overboard on stuff, and it's a lot of fun to watch. So that's what I've spent a lot of time on there
Do
for.
you have a favorite?
The Lawn Dad is pretty good on
The
YouTube.
Lawn Dad.
Yeah,
We're getting a glimpse into Evan's future. All right. And then finally, between the two of you, who is more romantic?
Oh gosh, I feel like it depends.
yeah, I'll go.
Evan? So is Evan usually planning like the date nights, the trips, all that kind of stuff?
I just feel like he's just so like thoughtful when it comes to trying to make time for just the two of him, just because baseball is such a big part of our lives. I feel like he goes above and beyond when there is like some time, just the two of us that we get to spend together. Yeah.
Evan, would you agree with that?
That's awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure Evan's glad this is recorded. So, all right, that's enough for the Newlywed Game. You guys can turn around. Thanks for playing. You can set the props down. We'll talk a little bit more landscaping later on in the show. But for right now, let's talk about your Jesus One shirts because I cannot go a single Rangers game without seeing at least 20 of them. First of all, what an incredible impact you guys have made. You've had over $360,000 raised for a variety of causes. Kaylen, what is the story about why you guys wanted to sell the shirts?
Well, obviously, when Evan debuted, people are always like, well, you wearing that shirt when you were warming up before your debut game, was that planned? Or, you know, like, where did you get the shirt? Like, what made you think to wear the shirt? And if I remember correctly, you just kind of put it on without even thinking twice about it. You were
Yeah,
just
that
like,
was my everyday BP shirt.
yeah. And he was like, I'll just wear it. And I remember after he debuted, obviously, a lot of people in our hometown were like going crazy, like, where can we get these shirts? And I like didn't have an answer for them. I was like, I don't know. Evan just got the shirt from like a Bible study he did in spring training, I
Mhm.
think is maybe when he had gotten the shirt because
Yeah.
that's where they're based in
Yeah.
is Arizona.
Yeah.
And I just like kept getting questions about the shirts and I was like, we just need to make a shirt and we just need to put his number on it and we need to just put this out here for anybody who wants to buy it. It doesn't need to be like any pressure at all, but if you feel led to buy one of those shirts, like we would be all for it. And then it ended up being this great thing where we could really give back to our community and help out our home church a lot. They do a lot of community work in our area with, I don't know, like providing Thanksgiving meals for families, Christmas meals for families, presents for children. They work with the homeless and just a wide variety of things like that. So that's kind of a short story behind it. Yeah.
What impact do you guys hope to make back in Tennessee and also here in Texas with the sales of those shirts? I saw that you donated to your local church, like you just mentioned, Kaylen, and also to your high school baseball team. So, at the end of the day, what do you hope you can accomplish by donating and giving back to your community?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the baseball side of it, we were able to build an indoor hitting facility. There isn't one where we were at, so it's really cool. It's right down where I played high school baseball at. It's this huge facility. Gosh, I mean, you can arrange it a bunch of different ways, but big turf area inside. Obviously, we have hard winters there too, so it's like if you don't really have somewhere to go inside, it's tough to get stuff done outside. Um, and it's free for everybody to use. So one of those things that I don't feel like you should have to pay to get better at baseball. So free for anybody to come in the whole Carter County area. And that was a really cool thing that we were able to do. Just like what she was saying with the church stuff. I know when we had the hurricane come through, a lot of flash floods and stuff, we've been helping people rebuild houses. Or I say our church has been, with the money that we've been able to provide for that. It's been, there's been a bunch
And
of
I'm
animal
sure,
shelter
like,
stuff
I
that
mean,
we've
I
done.
know that there's just from being tagged in things, like, I know a lot of people native to Texas that are from here have also bought those shirts. Like, it's not just a Tennessee
Hmm.
thing. I mean, it's been such a blessing to see people in different states want to support, that shirt and support Evan and just kind of like what we stand for. And it's just been a great thing to see. Yeah.
What emotions do you feel when you see Rangers fans or just people out on the street wearing your shirts?
It's really cool. A lot of people are like, they want to like show it off to me, and I'm like, that's awesome. Like it makes me kind of feel they're proud of it, and it makes me feel really, really happy, I guess, joyful in a way of just, we get to connect. Like I wouldn't have ever met them in any other way, and getting to connect in that way. And there's been a lot of conversations that come about from it, from just people asking like, "Hey, what does that mean?" And you get to talk about it. It's been really good.
At the end of the day, when you look at these shirts 5, 10 years down the line, what are your bird's eye view hopes and dreams for where this money can go in the future?
I don't know that we have necessarily an expectation for it.
I feel like just wherever there's need at the time
Yeah.
because, like, I mean, the world is constantly evolving. There's always something new going on or somebody in need of help. So I think it's just kind of like where the need is at the time. Um,
And I don't think that we really expected, or we didn't have any expectations of how much it was gonna take off. So it's kinda like,
yeah.
it happens so quickly, we just didn't really know, well, oh my gosh, like, is this gonna keep going for a long time? Like, what's gonna happen with this? And so kinda just rolling with it, I feel
I
like.
do think like in the future I could maybe see Evan possibly hosting like a baseball camp, maybe like back in our hometown or something. Because Jason Witten, who played for the Cowboys for a long time, is actually from where we're from and went to the same high school that we went to. And he does a base or a football camp every year. And I don't know, I feel like it would be cool to maybe mimic that one day when we can find the time for it and kind of get back on our feet and things. So.
Absolutely. For Rangers fans and viewers of the show that want to purchase and support, where can they buy their Jesus One merchandise?
It's just if in Google, if they type in Jesus One Apparel, they can find it there, or also in both of our Instagram bios, we have the links that they can click on, and it takes it right to the shirts. And we also have some hats on there too, like a little
Hoodies
trucker
too.
hat.
Yeah,
And yeah, there's a few different options of what they could
yeah.
purchase if they wanted to. Yeah.
Built for the bold, the Frontier collection from Justin blends classic Western style with modern edge. With sleek looks and premium leathers, these boots are ready for anything. Find your Frontier today at justinboots.com. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about some life things off the field. So let's say it's a 7 o'clock game day. What does a day in the life in the Carter household look like?
So every morning we get up and I'll try and go like get my workout in for the day just because I want to get it over with. And then
When you get home, I wake
somehow
up.
I always come home and, Evan's about to drink his smoothie. He drinks the same smoothie every single morning for breakfast. It's very specific, has to have it every day.
Yeah.
And then I feel like he's in the yard the rest of the morning until he goes to the field. So that can explain why he loves yard work and taking care of the yard so much. But
Yeah.
or we go to the plant store.
The plant store.
Yeah, we just buy plants because that's what soothes Evan. So
His happy place at the
Yep.
plant
I
store.
love it, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, back to the smoothie. What's your smoothie recipe? I'm sure there are tons of Rangers fans ready to write this down at home.
3.5 to 4 cups of mixed berries. So
It's
it's
like
normal.
I'm telling it's a smoothie
It's
that
the
Wow.
just
You need
full
one of those like giant Amazon jugs where it's like marks throughout the day of like, keep going, you're
I think
doing
it's like
great.
8 cups,
it's literally like 8 cups of
Wow.
I
smoothie.
think.
Like, and he
Okay.
drinks it all.
So
Yeah.
like right at 4 cups of mixed berries. Was that blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries?
Mhm.
A whole banana, a whole avocado, a big old clump of peanut butter, 3 scoops of my protein powder,
Honey.
a bunch of honey,
And then milk.
and then milk until I think that that's going to be enough to make it not chunky.
How long does it take to fully blend everything that you just said?
Like a minute or so, probably.
Wow,
It's a
you're
lot.
efficient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. And then throw a straw in the big old blender cup and good to
He
go.
drinks on it
There
all
you have
morning.
it.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm sure there are a lot of Rangers fans at home writing that down word for word, either to give to their kids or even try out themselves. So you should get a smoothie sponsorship somewhere
I
and have
know,
that
right?
made. I think Tropical Smoothie's a Rangers partner, so
Oh,
maybe
there
we
we
can work
go.
on something there.
Yeah.
I love that. Something else you guys are very passionate about is your dog JP. So first of all, how did JP get his name?
Do you want to tell it?
Yeah, I had a miniature schnauzer growing up named Paddington after Paddington the bear, and he lived to be what 18? He was 17. He was old.
Something within that range.
I got him for my first birthday, and he actually passed away my very first year of pro ball. So
17. I think.
17 years, yeah. And so his name was Paddington. Now we have a giant schnauzer, and we just named him Jumbo Paddington. So JP.
Because
Yeah.
we wanted to name him after
Yeah.
Paddington. Because
Yeah.
I basically grew up with Paddington too.
Of course.
Because we were together for so long.
Yeah.
And he both just meant so much to us. So yeah, Jumbo Paddington is
Jumbo Paddington.
JP's name. And when
Yeah.
people ask us that, I'm like, you're probably not gonna understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you get your love for landscaping? Was this something that you've always enjoyed, or did you start really getting into it once you had a house?
So I've always loved plants. So I actually had a greenhouse in high school at my parents' house, that I would keep all kinds of like tropical or rare plants in. Basically, I would go everywhere that I went, I would buy plants or I would steal a lot of plants
No,
from
okay.
so
Well, he would think, okay, I'll buy one plant, and then just because I'm buying one, I can take a few
So
little snippets
they're
of
like
the background.
succulent. So they're like, yeah, there's like succulents or cactuses or whatever. So it's kind of like, all right, if I literally take one leaf off of this plant, I can put it in the ground and it's going to grow a whole new plant,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
It
So I
is.
was like, if I buy 3 or 4, like I'll just take this leaf and it's fine.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I was delinquent me in high school, I guess.
Do you have any landscaping projects that you're doing right now, or is it just like a daily maintaining the lawn, maintaining the plants? What does that look like for you?
So right, actually, what? Yeah, 3 days ago. When did we go and buy it? We bought 2 hydrangeas, a new rose because one of our roses died over the winter, and then
Bought some ferns for the front.
bought some
of the
ferns for the
porch.
front, and then I bought an elephant ear bulb that I put in the backyard that I hope grows.
Nice.
So we'll see.
I feel like it's mainly just maintaining right now, though.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
I'll always go
Hopefully,
find some new
but
stuff though.
yeah.
So since you got the house in the off season, are you guys fully moved in? Furniture's the way you guys want it to be? Like, is the house everything you've always envisioned, or are there still projects left that you guys want to do?
I would say for the most part, it's exactly how we want it. We were very thankful. The people that we bought the home from, they renovated the entire home, like gutted it fully, and I think that they had planned to live there for a long time, but um, the
I had to
wife and the
relocate for a
husband
job,
had
yeah.
to relocate for a job, like
Yeah.
kind of suddenly. So
Yeah.
we kind of lucked up where they did so much work to it. We kind of just got to move right in and didn't have to really fix anything. So it
Yeah.
was mainly just like decorating and getting the furniture. And I feel like there's still some rooms where it's kind of bare, but it's also like that's upstairs and we're not really like up there as
Yeah.
much. And it's like if we have kids one day or something, we can maybe worry about that.
Cross that bridge when you get there.
Yeah.
What was the dynamic like when it came to the furniture? Like, did Evan have a say in things? Did he care? Was it all Kaylen? Like, what did that look like?
Oh, I feel like you had a good say.
Yeah.
Are you a
Right?
Pinterest kind of couple where you guys have everything mapped out on Pinterest?
No, I feel like we're going to a store and we don't have a plan, and then we end up getting frazzled in the store because we
Yeah.
don't know what we want.
Oh my gosh, we went to Nebraska Furniture
gosh,
Mart, and
That is ginormous.
It's like a
It's-
love-hate relationship
it is a
there.
love-hate
It's
relationship.
like they
There's
have
too
so
much.
much to choose from and so many good things, but then it's like, what do you choose?
Yeah, there's like 800 different selections for couches, and I don't know what I'm looking. It's
Yeah.
just
I feel like we were a good team, though. We both picked out things that we liked,
Yep.
and I feel like I always made sure to get his opinion.
That's a good balance. My husband sees all the pink chairs in our house and he's like, we gotta get rid of this. Like, we gotta make it more neutral. I'm like,
Yeah.
that is fair. But speaking of that, Pierce and I are house hunting right now. So we're not too far off from what you guys just went through. What tips do you have for first time homeowners?
well, gosh, houses go quick in Dallas.
Yeah,
I mean, I
that's for
would say
sure.
one tip I have is to never think that your house is going to be done because there's always going to be things that you can do. Like like, I mean, you think, "Oh, like, we're finally getting there," and it's as good as our house is looking and, like, as full as it's getting, I feel like there's still always things we wake up and we're like, "Oh, we could fix this today," or
You could do that.
there's gonna
So
be an
it's a
endless
never
list of
ending.
things to do
Yeah.
from that point forward. It's
Yeah.
never gonna be done, so,
Yeah.
that would be my tip.
Yeah.
Were you submitting an offer and you're like, "Are they Rangers fans? Because if so, this could work out really well for us if I throw a signed baseball their way."
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I feel like they knew, but we never, like,
We tried to stay
said
kinda secretive, I feel like, a little bit, because it could be the opposite end of the spectrum too.
What if they were Houston fans?
Yeah,
yeah,
could
or
be.
just, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But, no, they definitely, I think, knew, but luckily they were great within the
Yeah,
process,
they were
so,
great.
yeah.
I'm sure you guys have played Kiss, Marry, Kill before where you rank celebrities, different things like that. So you're going to start your favorite thing of the three, bench the middle of the pack, and then give the boot to your least favorite. So I like to do some behind the scenes recon before this. So I talked to Evan during Clubhouse this week, which is how I learned about your hobbies off the field. So for Evan, of course, we're going to do landscaping projects. And then when I asked him about your hobbies off the field, Kaylin, he said making sure that our dog lives the most human life possible. So we're going to start off with Kaylin. So this is dog and human thing. So dogs wearing clothes, dog birthday parties, and dogs eating human food. So you'll start your favorite, bench the middle one, and then give the boot to your least favorite.
Okay, the human food is probably my number 1.
Okay.
Um, and then you said wearing clothes and
Wearing clothes and dog birthday parties.
oh, definitely birthday parties second.
Okay.
I feel like I like to go above and
He
beyond
had
with
a
that
happy
because he
birthday
gets,
get
like, a
out the
little
other day.
outfit. Well, I mean, he gets a little bandana and he gets little treats, and we go on he loves, this is probably so bad for me to say, but a plain McDonald's cheeseburger is what he gets on his birthday.
I love that.
So, that's what we go do on his birthdays, and then wearing clothes is probably the least just because I only do it for, like, occasions. It's not really, like, an everyday thing for
Got it.
him. Yeah.
That's awesome. The McDonald's cheeseburger is incredible. He lives a great life, it sounds like, from what you guys have said so far. And then Evan for landscaping projects. So start your favorite, bench middle, give the boot to your least favorite. A perfectly manicured front lawn, maintaining a greenhouse, and having a backyard covered in plants.
I would say start the perfect front lawn just because everybody sees it, and that's kinda half the point of doing all the stuff.
Sets the tone.
Sets the tone, yeah, lets you know who's in charge of the neighborhood.
Like, who's taking care of their house? We are.
Yeah. No.
Your HOA probably loves you guys, by the way.
Oh my gosh. I would say the greenhouse, in the middle, and then, all the plants in the backyard, I guess. I would love all 3, but,
You had to choose.
yeah, if I had to choose.
I love that. Well, this was so fun. Thank you guys so much for joining me on episode 2
Thank
of
you for
Rangers
having
Deep
us.
in the
So
Heart.
much.
Where can Rangers fans find both of you on social media?
We're both on Instagram.
Yep.
Kaylen Shell Carter and then
Just Evan Carter.
Evan Carter.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys again for joining me. Rangers fans, make sure to head over to JesusOneApparel.com to support Evan and Kaylin and all the great things they're doing in Texas and in Tennessee. Signing off from Globe Life Fields, I'm Hannah Wing. Make sure to subscribe, like, share this episode with the Rangers fan or a fellow friend, and we'll see you next time.